Do you want the biggest, baddest diesel zero turn on the market? We've got you covered with the Kubota ZD1611 mower. Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg, and today I wanted to show you guys the all-new Kubota ZD1611. So this is your diesel zero turn, the biggest one that Kubota offers, and I wanted to give a little bit of history on it, but today we're going to go over all the specs and the features and why this is probably the biggest, baddest diesel zero turn on the market right now. Kubota has been top in the diesel zero turn game, in my opinion, for many years, since the ZD326s, even the ZD221s and everything came out, and then the ZD1211s. They did make a mistake, and there was an issue with the ZD1511, and this replaces that machine with a little bit nicer features to it, but it replaces the ZD1511. So the issue really wasn't the zero turn with Kubota, it was the emissions protocol that came out. Back in 2014, when there was emission regulations, there were two models that Kubota tried to fit a small engine with emissions into a small compact frame, and it was the ZD1511 and the tractor, the B3350. Now those shared the same engine and shared the same horrible issues. As a dealership, we ended up refusing to sell those machines because there were so many emissions issues with them. But since then, Kubota has come out with the LX3310, and to replace the B3350 tractor with no issues, and now to replace the ZD1511, we have the ZD1611. So I'm excited now to be able to finally sell a nice, small diesel zero turn. Sarcasm. So this is going to be a 72-inch mower deck, and you can either get a side discharge or a rear discharge, but this is a 31 horsepower engine. So we'll actually start in the engine on this one. So it is beefy. We'll talk weight real quick. So it weighs about 2,100 pounds. You fill up the 15-gallon fuel capacity, and you're going to gain even more weight. But you know, you're talking over more than a ton of machine weight. So underneath the hood here, which is all metal and heavy duty, we have our engine, and this is liquid cooled. So you have a radiator, you've got your radiator screens and everything like that. And of course, it's a 4-cylinder diesel engine. So basically, this engine, like I said, is the same engine, same setup as the LX3310, as that, you know, that 33 horsepower tractor. And it's a 31 horsepower engine on this. This is a net engine gross horsepower. But you can see there's a lot of engine and a lot of space that it takes up. Part of that is going to be your DPF muffler. So this silver canister in the back, that is our emissions regulation system that Kubota has now fine-tuned and got to work properly. But this is going to be the emissions regulations that would come with anything over that 25 horsepower range. The nice thing is Kubota has made it easy on the dash and everything, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. There's actually a reading to see how much buildup there is in the filtration system, so you know when it's about to go through a regeneration cycle. But as far as the engine goes, you know, you've got your giant air canister, you have simple serviceability to it. There is, if you come around here, there's a very nice, which you'll see on our new tractors and everything, very nice fuel water separator down in. You guys can't really see, it's hidden behind this cover. But that's the same as our newer tractors, bigger tractors and everything will have on it, this nice fuel water separator. So Kubota's done a really good job kind of redesigning the system. Now it looks massive because it is massive, but it sticks out. So if you're looking for a maneuverable zero turn, this wouldn't be one for you because of the actual length of the machine and the weight of the machine. It's not really going to be your commercial guy's go-to mower. It's going to be if you have 8, 10, 12 acres you're cutting and you need comfort, you need weight, and you need, you know, that overall capability that a diesel comes, that reliability, that long life. All right, 2,000-3,000 hours from now, it's still gonna be running and working great. This is also a shaft-driven transmission and mower deck, all from the engine, so you have a lot less belts to worry about. So if you look down inside, you can see basically from your transmission and engine, you have your PTO shafts that'll go to your mower deck, and then of course back from the engine. And basically that allows us to have a lot more reliability, less belt slippage and breakage. You get better power under heavy load because it's constant power transmitted through that PTO shaft system. That does add to the cost of the machine a little bit, but again, if you keep it well maintained and greased, you're going to save a lot of money in parts and belts and wear items in the long run. You also, with this mower deck, you don't get the prettiest cut. I sell other brands as well, and you know, some of those are going to have a nicer cut looking mower deck. But if you're talking about cutting through thick material, not bogging down, this is great at that, as well as it's very heavy duty. It's easy to maintain. Everything is greasable. It's not sealed spindles or bearings, so you can grease it, you can maintain it. And it's also a hydraulic raise and lower to this deck. So it's very easy to choose your deck height, and it'll cut up to 5 inches. So if I turn this on, the first thing I'm going to notice is how quiet it actually is. This is quieter than my 24, 25 horsepower diesel zero turns. Why? I don't really know. There's probably experts out there that could tell me better. Maybe it's the 4-cylinder diesel, maybe it's how the engine is located, but even throttled up, this mower is very quiet compared to like my ZD12 series. But going back to the deck, you do have a hydraulic raise and lower to the deck right here. You can raise it up. You can spin this knob. Let's say I want to cut at 2 inches real low. You lower it down to 2 inches. It's very easy to use. Again, very comfortable. And that's something that you know, Kubota is very proud about, and Kubota is very important to them, that it's comfortable and that it's very easy to use. So some of the features on it is going to, of course, be, if we look at some of these controls, you got your PTO engagement here, nice mechanical PTO engagement. You got your throttle. This was where I was controlling spinning what deck height I'm going to be cutting at, and it's basically got an indicator there. And then I'm going to grab the camera real quick, and I'm going to show you guys the digital display screen that comes with these. So you can see we have 2 emissions buttons here, and they kind of, you guys can see the descriptions. One's to do a parked regen, one's to actually cancel the regen. I'm trying to get the shadow here. There we go. So on this, you can see your temperature, you can see your fuel gauges, you can see your hour meter. This will be your RPMs, so you know, as you're mowing. And then you actually have your DPF level here, which is kind of nice. So again, you'll basically know when you're about to hit a regen. So let's say you're just about to start a really big yard, you're about to park it inside, and you can see it's at the top end. You could do a parked regeneration, just force it on through. And then the other nice thing that you're going to notice right away that I notice is we have an air ride seat. Probably one of my favorite things on this is how comfy it'll be. So I've got a full air ride adjustable seat right here. I can let it out, sink back down, and when the machine's on, of course, air ride up. Everything else is, you know, the mechanical spring suspension, and air ride is a world of difference. You can also, there's a knob here, you can also pivot your seat forward or back depending on, you know, what's your comfort. If you want to lean all the way back and put your beer in your cup holders, because there's 2 cup holders, so you can bring 2 beers, which is nice. You could do that. You also, in your cup holder, have a little 12-volt charger if you want to charge your phone, because you're going to be outside cutting for 7 hours on this thing, because probably the fuel will last. One of the other real cool features that they put on is tie-down points for when you're trailering it. Makes it a lot easier rather than trying to strap over the floorboard and break your discharge chute. They actually have integrated tie-down points on front and rear. And something that Kubota's done for years now on their diesels is going to be this articulating front axle. So you have your giant center pin that it actually articulates on, so as you're moving, I probably can't move it by hand, but as you're moving, this axle articulates with the ground, makes it a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to use. That's been standard on the ZD series for years now, so you might already be familiar with that. The other cool thing that it comes with is an integrated jack stand. So you're supposed to move those pins and everything, but I'll just show you guys an example. If I were to spin this clockwise, let's see if I get the pressure started. Here we go. You can now use this, and you guys can see how, if I were to go all the way up, and I'm sure there's a better way to do this than I am doing, but at the same time, you guys can see what I'm talking about. You can articulate this all the way up to like this, so you can service underneath the mower deck and everything like that. So pretty cool little system that you can do to get to service and maintenance it, rather than having to, you know, put a jack underneath it, take it to the shop, pick it up with your tractor, or however else you do it. So, and then you just let her on back down, lock this back in place, and you're ready to roll again. So easy to service, easy to use, and very comfortable to use. So, you know, the main new things between this and the 15 series that we didn't sell is going to be the revamped regeneration system. Some of these small features like the tie-down points, the digital display is a little bit nicer. The air ride suspension, of course, is super nice. Some of the serviceability, that fuel filter system, that water separator, some of that serviceability is real nice. But realistically, again, the biggest baddest diesel zero turn, 31 horsepower, 72. It's just going to go. It's very fuel efficient as well, which is nice. So again, mow 10, 15 hours on a tank of fuel, which is just crazy what you can do when it's a diesel instead of a gas. And it is very quiet. So you're not going to be disturbing people. You're not going to have to wear, all the extra hearing protection. I still recommend it, but you don't have to. Price point is always going to be a factor. So for a 72-inch diesel mower like this, you're looking at spending around $24,000, $25,000. You could get a gas 72-inch one for 16 to 18, depending on brand and options and features. Actually, probably get cheaper if you wanted to. But a diesel, again, will outlast everything, especially with that Kubota diesel engine. So there you have it, the new ZD1611 from Kubota. Realistically, I'm very excited now to be able to sell one of these because it's been lacking in our industry.